Okay, so today we're going to be doing, we're going to continue. Give me 1 second. We're going to continue in Unit 11. So we are going to be on, you should have done exercise A and B. So today what I'm going to have you do is exercise C on page 205. All right. And let's continue to go over recognizing complex sentences on page 207. So let's talk about complex sentences. A complex sentence contains one independent clause and one or more dependent or subordinate clauses, right? And so yesterday we talked about simple and compound sentences. Now we're going to talk about complex sentences. Now remember, we said that the simple and compound sentences so a simple sentence contains one independent clause and no dependent subordinate clauses. And a compound sentence contains two or more independent clauses, but no dependent clauses. So now we're going to get into sentences that contain one independent clause and one or more dependent or subordinate clauses. So one independent, one or more dependent. Okay. Dependent clauses always have introductory words, sometimes understood, that join them to an independent clause. Who, whom, which, that, whose, after, although, as if, because, since, and when, etc. And you can look at page 148 and 174 for some more examples. Let's look at the example there on page 207. Maria, who won the piano contest, attends my school, right? And so one independent clause and one dependent clause equals a complex sentence, right? The independent clause here is Maria attends my school. The dependent clause is who won the piano contest, right? So let's look at that in some detail here so you can understand why that is, okay? So you have the first part, Maria, who won the piano contest, attends my school. Oops. So when you break this sentence apart, right, you have Maria, which is the subject, right? Who won, right? Won is going to be our verb. The piano contest. Attends my school. Maria attends my school is an independent clause. And you might say, well, that's not what it says. It doesn't say Maria attends my school. Right, but it is the attends my school is using the subject Maria. So Maria attends my school is a clause within the sentence. But the dependent part of this, who won the piano contest, is dependent. It doesn't stand alone. You couldn't say, if I just wrote this, who won the piano contest? The only way this would work is maybe if it was a question, but it's not. So this can't stand alone. So let's look at the other example. Although yesterday the weather was forecast to be sunny, The radar that the weatherman showed this morning shows thunderstorms all day. The independent clause there is the radar shows thunderstorms all day. The dependent clause is, although yesterday the weather was forecast to be sunny, which modifies radar, that the weatherman showed this morning modifies shows. Right? Those parts of the sentence are not independent. They are dependent on the rest of the sentence. They wouldn't make any sense outside of the rest of the sentence. Let's look at exercise A. The Congo River, which is Africa's largest river in volume, flows northward. This should be capitalized, obviously. Let's start over. The Congo River, which is Africa's largest river in volume, flows northward. Okay. I know it's not the best handwriting in the world. Bear with me. I'm still getting used to using this tablet. So all the following sentences are complex sentences. So the directions tell you that. Underline all subjects once and all verbs twice. Right? All subjects once and all verbs twice. Put brackets around each dependent clause. Right? So things that are dependent on the rest of the sentence. Right? So what is the subject in this particular case? What is it in this sentence that the rest of the sentence flows around? Right? And it would have to be the Congo River. Right? That has to be our subject. Right? Now it says underline all verbs twice. Now what's our verb here? The Congo River, which is. Remember, verbs don't just indicate action, they also indicate existence, right? That something is, it exists. And then also we have another verb, flows. Right? So these are our verbs in the sentence, right? Now, which is our dependent clause? Now, could I say, take a look at this. Look at this part, the Congo River flows northward. Could I say that in a sentence? The Congo River flows northward? Absolutely. Could I say in a standalone sentence, which is Africa's largest river in volume? No, it wouldn't make any sense outside of the context of these two parts, right? I couldn't say which is, if I just came up to you and said, hey, which is Africa's largest river in volume? You'd think I was asking you a question. So it doesn't make any sense outside of the context of the rest of the sentence. So you definitely put brackets around which is Africa's largest river in volume. All right, let's do one more. Number 2. Let's actually do number 10. Since the wind is so strong, all planes are grounded for now. Okay. Now, what is the subject of this sentence? Right? Well, it's definitely wind, right? And we also have planes. Sorry, there's supposed to be a comma here. What about our verbs? Well, we have is, right? And are grounded. So what is our dependent clause? Could I say all planes are grounded for now? If I were to just come up to you and tell you, hey, guess what? All planes are grounded for now. You'd say, okay. So that's a independent clause. Could I come up to you and say, since the wind is so strong? No, I can't. So this is a dependent, right? This whole thing is dependent on the rest of this. Do you understand? Hopefully you understand what I'm getting at here. Okay, so I want you to do exercise A. So the assignment for today is going to be exercise C, and that's going to be back on page 205. So exercise C on 205 and exercise A on 207. All right, that's your grammar assignment for today.